Hello and welcome to the Video Gamer UK podcast. My name is Simon Miller and I am here along with Stephen W. Burns.
Hello.
David Scammell.
How you doing?
And Jim Trinker.
All right.
And we're about to bring you an hour or so of powerful gaming chat that is going to change your life till the day you die.
Oh my goodness me.
Imagine you did. Imagine this changed your life. Imagine after this podcast you think, you know what? I'm going to do what I always wanted to do.
We do receive some nice messages every now and then from people.
We do get a lot of nice messages saying that we've had a positive impact on their lives. So to those people, thank you very much.
Yeah, it is nice when you hear stuff like that, because usually it's like,
You guys are fucking terrible.
this.
We're getting that a lot at the moment.
Yeah.
People are very, very torn over the Division, and I made a very silly decision to say that I like the Division. That was it.
Is it proving divisive?
Shut up, Dave.
We made that joke last week.
Did you really?
Never say
You made
like
the same
it.
bad joke twice in a week. No, so it sums up video games. Like when I ever go on Twitter or whatever kind of social media, I don't really like Assassin's Creed. Oh, you don't understand. Quite like the Division. Oh, you don't understand.
Yeah.
People are just a bunch of moaners. Should all be thrown in a hole, left to die.
They are, and they got really upset about my my Hitman video, the review. One of them said, "Why didn't you change into this costume? Like it's a suit only
I
run."
saw that. It's a suit only run. It says in the fucking title.
But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Why didn't you choose into this suit? Didn't want to. Didn't want to. That's my choice.
Didn't want to do it. Someone said, "Why is everyone copying this guy's run?" It's like this came out the day before the game came out. What are you talking about?
People get upset when we go, "Oh, you shouldn't. Don't worry about the negative comments." Like, don't worry about it. I think it's fucking funny.
I think they're great.
Yeah, it's crazy people. But anyway, who in this room has played the Division? Hands up in
I've
the air.
played it.
Yep.
My
me.
hands up.
3 out of 4 of us have played the Division.
You haven't played it yet, Jim?
Jim's gonna play it. He got a copy today. I
Jim,
believe.
you're going to love it. It's a proper Jim game.
It's probably the point that I didn't buy it. Just
Okay,
arrived.
All right.
that's good. Right, thanks
Well,
for.
I mean, I did.
No, I don't
Just
want-
saying.
I don't want people thinking that I'm the sort of fad who goes out and pays 50 quid for something just because everyone's playing
So
it.
what are they?
What's
What,
wrong
like-
with that? Yeah,
like people listening?
Yeah, like normal human beings. What's wrong with that?
Are they
I don't want
about
people
you.
want to think that I pay for stuff.
Yeah.
Mainly
Cheers.
because I
I
did
think that
that.
is the most pretentious thing anyone's ever
No.
said on this podcast. I don't pay for video games.
No, because I did that with Destiny. I paid 50 quid for Destiny
Yeah.
because everyone was going on about it, and you know,
Old D.
and I thought,
Yeah, D1, yeah.
smashing. And I played it for 10 hours and got utterly fucking bored of it.
10 hours is a long
Still,
time
Jim,
of game, though.
That's
Like,
a
I
bit
don't think.
shocking.
Nah, it's not, mate.
Not for a game like that.
But no,
wouldn't
but I
have thought.
still think you played it for 10 hours. I think you got a good.
Nah, I've not got 50 quid's worth out of it. That's like
10 hours a
That's
game.
ridiculous.
Some games are like 3 hours long.
that's like a £5 an hour.
I think you've gone crazy.
Nah, mate.
No. Anyway, I am not.
It's a good start.
I am not the biggest fan of Ubisoft games. Like, the whole production line, I don't know, approach to it, just I find it boring. But this genuinely feels. I mean, I haven't played a lot of Destiny, so I'm sure if you play a lot of Destiny, it doesn't feel that fresh. It is a lot like Destiny, from what I can figure out. But I actually think it feels quite. I mean, well, it doesn't feel new because it's just kind of an RPG where you go get loot and level up all the time. But there's something very Moorish about it.
It's Diablo, but third-person shooter, right?
Exactly, and I think I like it. I actually think there's a lot to it.
It's the best game Ubisoft's made in years, I think.
I totally agree.
Yeah.
And mostly because they haven't stuck to their usual.
There's no towers in it.
Well, they're safe houses.
Although
I don't actually.
You don't climb anything.
But things like people go on the safe houses are the towers. But the safe houses are there to
Not
like
really.
level up and increase things rather than just you've unlocked more of the map. They don't really unlock more of the map or anything
No.
like that. I think it feels really original for a Ubisoft game. It doesn't feel like they've taken anything from anything else. They've just gone right. Here's our template. Let's make it.
You know what's amazing? It means that every Ubisoft game after this now is going to be like The Division.
Well, yeah,
It's
this
the new
could become a
template.
new template. But then again, this has the legs, surely, to be, relevant for
I dunno,
a
even-
good few years, depending on what content they
Oh,
release
yeah.
for
It'll
it.
be like Destiny, right? They just upgraded with big expansion packs. It's weird that they've announced all their DLC plans now. I guess they want to sell some season passes, but none of it really sounds like major expansion 1, expansion 2 in the same sense that Destiny was. Maybe I've misinterpreted what they're saying, but
I haven't really looked into
it
that.
seems like more sort of standard DLC fare rather than...
What's the time frame for it? Like, when's the last one come out? Did they say?
I can't remember. There's 3 this
Well, maybe
year.
maybe the next big one then comes out early next year. So you have 3 mini ones just to keep you interested in this
Who
version,
knows?
and then you
Who
get to
knows?
January, and then kapow! It's like brand new The Division.
Yeah, I have to say though, even though I fully expect, well, even though we were talking about it pre-release about how RPG it is and how a lot of people, you birds were saying this a lot, how secret numbers game and all that, people might not realise quite how much of an RPG it is.
Not secret. Numbers pouring out of people's head constantly, no matter what you're doing.
I still didn't realise quite how RPG it actually
it's super
is.
RPG. Like, it is super. That's the only thing I find a bit disconnecting with it, is like, you throw one of those...
It's all buffs and healers and all that
You
stuff.
throw one of those grenades like in someone's pocket, it just goes, you did 22 damage, and they don't die. Like, I'd rather they just blew up, to be honest.
Even the damage, it's not like per bullet, it's DPS.
Yeah, I know.
It's super RPG.
It's really hardcore in that sense. Like, imagine if a few people have seen the trailers and thought that looks cool, and they sit down to play it, they'd be like, it's a lot of information to get through. It has made it more complicated than it actually is. Like, the way that game explains itself to you, I think, is terrible. It just constantly throws more and more information at you until you're like, well, I don't know what you want me to do. Then when you actually learn its systems, you're like, oh, it's not that hard.
But it is a pretty casual RPG, though, when you consider it against some hardcore RPGs.
True. But that's the thing, I think they make out like it's not.
It's a perfect beginner's guide to RPGs, I think.
I think that's completely the right thing, but I think the way they approach it in-game makes it sound like it's not.
Yeah.
There's one point when you get a screen, it's got about 42 different bits of information, and you're like, I can't take all this in. But then you realise it's just like levelling up, like just normal levelling up that anybody can figure out.
Shooting bin men with flamethrowers.
A lot of shooting bin men with flamethrowers.
One thing I can't really get over with The Division, and I'm fine with the numbers now, I won't play it because it's too... No, this is going to sound weird. It looks too bleak to me. And
you love bleak.
Yeah, I know, but...
Do you mean the setting? Or
I like a beautiful kind of bleak, like a Dark Souls, right?
Yeah.
But this is just like, here I am in snow. I trudge around the snow shooting poor people. It should be my favourite game of all time.
Steve Bird Simulator.
But at the same time, it's just every time I see Alice play it, she's running around Times Square or in the Dark Zone. And by in the Dark Zone, I mean she's getting like beanie hats. I just think, I get it that the shooting is the appeal, but aesthetically, I'm like, nah. I couldn't put any time into it because it would just annoy me how many times I'm crouching behind a car and shooting.
Well, I mean, it is a third-person shooter, though, so there's always going to be a lot of it.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just that most base level of destroyed in a video game. At least Gears of War, it was a different world, so you could run through the world and be like, oh, okay. At least the architecture's interesting. This is just a New York I've seen destroyed thousands and thousands of times in films and games and fucking Serial, It's just like...
Well, I think a few people come down the other side there, don't they? They get a real kick that it's New York. And
I've
been there and I've been there and oh my gosh, exciting.
But at the same time, it just... I don't know, maybe I'll load it up on the Beast Machine in 4K and see what it's got. But at the same time, like, I'd rather play Super Mario World.
Yeah, but that's the same with everything, surely.
Well, yeah.
What other game would you rather play over Super Mario World?
I don't know. It's just, I feel like I've seen it all and I've only played about 20 minutes of it.
I do think there is something to that. Because I genuinely think after about 2 hours, you know what the game is. And you either really enjoy what it gave you for 2 hours and happy to do it again. It's proper, like, wash, rinse, repeat gaming. And then you go in the Dark Zone and kind of muck around with that kind of stuff. So I think if you do play the opening, you're like, meh, I don't think there's anything that changes at any point, unless...
No, I agree. I've played about 8 hours of it, I think. And, I mean, even the story, like, it does an awful job of telling a story as well.
I skip all the cutscenes.
Well, it's the thing, normally, if there's cutscenes in games, I'll watch them. As crap as they are, I'll watch them. Cutscene started yesterday. I went and put my washing on. Came back and was like, all right, right.
I didn't watch the opening. I don't care. It's so... For a game that has numbers falling out of people, it takes itself ever so seriously.
And it's
just like, there's no need.
My children, so who cares a fuck about your children?
But that's the other thing as well.
Your children got numbers? Gonna shoot them?
But you know the story before you begin. Like, if you've got any idea what the Division is, some virus has taken out everyone and bad times are here. There's not really, other than...
Why are you there? You're just sort of clearing up rioters, right?
You get a little thing at the beginning that says, oh, you've been activated or something.
Why?
So I don't know. It never makes it.
To shoot. Instead of corralling...
You've got to sort the virus out. Oh, all right.
Yeah, why me?
Along with the millions of others of us that are doing it.
The story is pants. I think they should have gone the other way with the story and just been all silly. It doesn't matter that it's a real aesthetic.
Or make it ambiguous. Make it utterly ambiguous that you don't actually know really what's going on. One thing you say about like content upgrades, like downloadable content, and new like year 2 packs and stuff. I would play, and I sound like I've gone mad. And if I sound weird, I'm quite ill. I would play a Somerset version, as in the season, not the place, of The Division. I would love it to look like Far Cry, like to be in a really hot New York summer, and just rather than. The sun is down again. Oh no, it's snowing again.
I think that's something they could release down the line.
And I want to fly helicopters in it.
Don't think they'll do that.
And I want a jet.
You want a jet?
I want them to turn the numbers off.
You can turn the numbers
I
off.
want the numbers off. I want a jet. I want a helicopter. I want them to pick up all that rubbish that's on the floor.
No,
there is an option to turn the numbers off.
I thought you were about to say there's an option to turn off the rubbish.
Turn on the jet.
In fairness to the Division, that Apocalypse is new or new-ish. So they really have, and no one wants to be like dealing with bin bags, for example, because they may have infected stuff on them. Fallout, on the other hand, like as I said on Twitter, you've got a fucking detective agency, but not a cleaning agency. Like people need a private detective, but they don't need someone to just go and pick up some bricks.
No,
mate, bricklayers like Arnie. After what happened with Arnie and Lou Ferrigno? Was it Lou Ferrigno or the other guy after the big earthquake at San Andreas or whatever?
I think that was Franco.
Franco, they just went pow and became instantly rich because they were jacked and could lift stuff. Arnie in Fallout 4, he'd be a billionaire in seconds.
I think in Fallout 4, though, everyone just looked away and went, nah, I can't be bothered. I'm not tight. Look how much shit there is. It's going to take ages.
Yeah, but detective agency.
But no, I do think The Division is Ubisoft's best game in years.
It's not one I can't really criticise it because every time I play it, I do enjoy it. But after about an hour and a half, I do start to get bored.
Yes, I don't think it's a game because you think it would be a game you can sit down and really kind of hammer, but it's not. You need friends 100% by itself. Good grief, that must be incredibly.
See, I've been
dull.
playing it by myself.
Do you not get bored?
Not as bored as I thought I would.
Fair enough. So I haven't done it yet, so I can't. I thought that I would get bored if I played it.
I did a mission with Kirk McKean.
Yeah, old friend of Video Gamer.
Yeah, and I wouldn't have said it really added much to it. I guess we weren't talking to each other because he just joined my party.
Oh, he just sidewayed in.
Yeah,
I love
That's
that.
unbelievable.
What a diss. I played a mission with Kirk McKean and it was still just as crap.
No, it's still just as good. Cheers.
It's a matter of perspective, isn't it?
Yeah, but no, enjoying it. More than I thought I would actually.
Yeah, me too. Oh, much more. I didn't. I literally had no interest in the Division pre-release. None. I hated it all. And now I did. I hate all the marketing
I was
for
a
that
bit
game.
surprised.
You hate stuff.
I hate Ubisoft games. Yeah.
But I liked what you said about him, and I thought it was very even-handed with regards to a lot of the Division's features and its mechanics and systems. And yeah, it's an odd game. One thing for me, how often do you go inside? I know I sound like I'm insane, gone mad on Lemsip or something.
You go inside a lot.
Yeah, but every time, I don't know, you go inside, it's like, can I use this laptop? I wish there was more variety. And then you got people doing star jumps indoors and you can't get through them.
But this is what I don't understand, right? So World of Warcraft came out 2002, something like that. And like all this, what do they call them? I can't remember. What do they taunts? Not taunts, they don't call them.
The emotes. Yeah.
And that's been around, and all of a sudden, in the last 3 years, they're back. Destiny's doing it. Why has that become a thing? This has been around for years, and everyone's gone nuts about them.
Probably because they realise they can charge for them now.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's so weird. Like World of Warcraft's been doing it for 722 years, and now the Division and Destiny. That's all they're about. He's waving at me. All right, who gives that stuff? I don't understand at all.
Have you
That's
tried
weird.
the Dark Zone stuff yet?
I've been in once.
See, I haven't even gone in because do you have to be high level for that? Or
It's meant to be, but it doesn't really. There's no. It never blocks you off the Division, which I like. If you want to go
but
be
I
a
just
dick,
thought
it just says go be a dick.
as a lone player that may be relatively low level in that area, do I really want to go in and get screwed over?
I don't think so. It was really hard. Like when I went, I did not enjoy my time in the dark zone. But I don't think I was
Really?
meant to. I mean, I did get a new hat. That is something that I got. But no, I don't think that's not where the joy of this game comes. Maybe down the line, I think that's where its longevity will come from. But I just like the way that it's very, even though it doesn't present itself, it's very, very simple. I'm playing with a friend. Let's go do a mission. Oh, we got a load of XP. Let's level a load of stuff up. See what inventory we got. I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah. Talking of a new hat though, and loot and all that. That's the one area where I think they've maybe missed the mark so far. And I'm not high level, so I don't know what the loot looks like later on. But
yeah.
It's still a hat. It looks like a baseball
It's
cap.
all very
Yeah, but
realistic.
there's nothing really that stands out where you go, I want that. That looks amazing. I've
Yeah.
never encountered anyone where I've gone,
Can you ever
he's
find,
got a good
like,
avatar.
Are
Which
there
I
any
think
like Slayer t-shirts and shit?
I can't say there are, Jim. I
No,
don't know.
I wish there were,
But that's
Jim.
the sort of thing
No,
that
I'm
you'd
not
really
playing
think that they would push the boat out on. Like Call
Yeah.
of Duty has a lot of customization stuff.
Well, you want to see someone walk around in like a bright yellow top or something that
just
stand
something
out.
that stands out. Whereas at the moment it's all sort of khaki jeans and
Chinos.
yeah.
But the problem is that it's
Bright yellow top with that smile on it, like that 70s t-shirt.
You'd notice him, wouldn't you? Though
It's
you'd love that
aesthetic
guy.
as
yeah.
fuck, though, isn't it?
Totally.
This is it. They made a game about getting exotic stuff and then set it in Macy's. So you're looking. Alice played it on the live stream, and I was like commentating, for want of a better word. And I was like, "So what are we getting now, Alice?" She's like, "Oh, we're going to get some chinos." Like, you're fucking joking.
But I think some people like the realistic side of it, though.
Oh, that's shite.
Chino.
But you shoot people in the head and they don't die.
I do agree with you. I think there is a certain bedding in period because you do expect to shoot someone in the head in a game that looks like a realistic shooter and they don't go down. But I like numbered shooters. I prefer the original Mass Effect's combat, which I know is an awful thing to say, but I did. So I'm glad.
To 2 and 3?
I liked all the numbers falling out of people in Mass Effect. Won't call it 1 because Burns here, but the original Mass Effect. I did, and I liked. I don't need. I got Gears of War. I don't need to have any more third-person shooters like
Imagine
that.
if numbers came out the locust.
Oh, then I get mad. But you're not going to better that, so I don't need it. So I'm glad the Division tries to do something different.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is enough chat about the Division. I was just very surprised that I like it. Now,
I
Dave.
love how it's like. Sorry, I just love how it's BHS simulator basically.
I mean, it does look a lot like BHS clothes.
Run around trying to find chinos that fit you.
If you listen to this in America, BHS is like a shit clothing department store.
British Home Stores.
You don't have that in. I don't think it ever made it across the pond. BHS. It may have done.
I doubt it. You'll have to change the name.
Yeah.
I don't know. Well, another pistachio game that I played this week that I wanted to talk about, which I think you talked about last week. I assume you did. Is Stephen Burns' favourite Hitman, which I think is sublime. To be honest, I think it is a tremendous video.
Can't wait to play that.
Just think it's tremendous. I think this whole I don't even care with the whole you have to wait a month. I can't believe it. It doesn't bother me.
See, I do a lot.
But there's so much to do in those 3 levels. It's like I don't need another one at the moment. It doesn't.
There's only one main level though, isn't there?
I think even in the first 2 you can muck around with it for a good, more than a couple of hours.
Oh yeah, like I've played it about 6 hours now.
Yeah.
And for a game that, so far is 10, 11, 12 quid, £6, that's pretty good. 6 hours, that's pretty good value.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to get out of it. I wish it was all there from the beginning. And I've run into some bugs and crashes and things like that.
I haven't heard anything like that.
Yeah, because I remember talking to them when they announced it and they sort of made out, what we do release is going to be highly polished game. It's not early access, so that's why we're not calling it early access. But what I've found is that it's perhaps not in as finished state as I would have.
Oh, that's strange. I've never, apart from the loading times, which are unbelievable.
Times are crazy. The performance is a bit all over.
The performance has been, apart from a little stutter when you start the Paris level, I haven't had any problems.
That's all over the place as far as Dave's concerned.
No,
Dave trips over and face plants his PS4 and he kicks it and shit. And,
it's little things like code strings in the menu and the menu's
that
taking
literally
forever
has only ever happened to not you're the only person who's mentioned that. Therefore, I think it's your fault.
I got an objective showing up twice, but it was written in a different way in each thing. It's things like that where you think, has this been play tested or QA?
Stuff like that is bad, but I think going back to the very core of it, the amount of options and how open it is one of the most intimidating games I've ever played. Like, if you ignore all the opportunity stuff, which kind of gives you a basic guide to how to do a thing, it's like you are just a hitman. You go do what you want. What do you want me to do? Don't give a shit. You figure it out. You're like,
the scale of it is amazing. I'm concerned that some of the things, because I saw it at the very beginning, and I think the way that I pictured certain scenarios playing out, because they are essentially like mini scenarios within a much grander level.
You basically like a mini open hub, and you can pick different things to go and do. Yeah.
So, like the TV reporter at the beginning of the map, you can set a contract and say, "Well, how are you going to kill her if she's reporting live on TV?" And I think when it was demoed to me, and that idea was put into my head, I was like, "Yeah, shit, how are you going to do that?" But then when I played a contract with someone to set that contract, and when you actually come to do it, she reports for like 2 minutes, and then she goes to the guy, "Well, let's go then," and they sneak off around the back. And they both sort of walk off their own paths, and you can kill them.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, right, well, that really didn't take as much thought as I kind of thought that scenario would in my head. So it's little things like that, I think, that I'm disappointed by. And like the showstopper where you can drop all the lighting rigs on the target. I don't know, I kind of pictured in the previous game, when you look at Curtains Down, like, when you have to shoot the guy on stage, right? You can put the real gun in the place of the fake gun and get the actor to shoot him for you. I would have thought in that game, it was a series of events that led up to that point, and you kind of watched it unfold in front of you once you'd placed that. I don't get that sense from this at all. So, like, you can get an invitation to go up to the secret meeting. I would have thought that you'd have had to have followed the girl that was given an invitation, and then somehow work out a way to get it off her. But it's not that at all. You can just go into the bathroom. There's just one lying around, which you can use to get in.
I don't mind, though, because it doesn't tell you to do that. You have to have the impetus to go out and find one. That's
true,
what I like about it.
It's not hard to find, I don't
Yeah,
think.
because these people are meant to be gacked off their fucking tits. So, like,
That was my next point,
Yeah.
was the gack.
I think
And it's like, when you set up the rigging to fall down, I'd have thought that would have been like another series of events. Right, I've got to put that there, I've got to make sure that happens at that time. But it's not. It's like you get to the top level, you crawl along the top, and you just hit the wrench to knock it down.
Well, in
It's
fairness,
not
in Curtains Down, you do that as well. But I think what you're talking about is what I've described as the chronograph versus clockwork effect. So, no, it's a lot of people are worried that it functions like a stopwatch. So instead of being just like clockwork, where the game runs without you even being near it, the player has to start and stop it. So you have that effect. So yeah, you have to go and talk. So you have to overhear some opportunities before the track will start running, essentially. And I understand. I know where that's coming from. I can say it doesn't seem, and I can't say for sure, but the second episode doesn't seem to be as reliant on that, because the places that you are in aren't as densely populated.
Right.
All the time, so you'll have less of the, like, yes, you'll walk past people and it will reveal the opportunity and off they'll start running, but it feels that there's something that you can do in, and I won't ruin it because people got upset about a spoiler in the last thing I said. There is a way to kill one of the targets in the next place, which feels extremely Hitman, and the trigger to get the person in there, it didn't feel like I just walked past, heard them talk, and then waited for them to come in.
But that's kind of how I assumed it would evolve as the different episodes came out. I treat Paris as not as an entry-level one, but more of a... But even then, it still does feel incredibly intimidating to me when it just goes, go on.
I think it's a great game. I do honestly think it's very good. But
I think each different location you get would become more freeform. Then when you get to number 7 or whatever the last one is, 6, it's then like, the last level of a video game, where it's, I would hope, allowed you to learn the game's mechanics through the other 5 or whatever, and then go, right, this is it. This is the ultimate one.
Do you think it's as replayable as they would make?
I think it's
I've
incredibly
played it for
replayable.
about 10 or 12 hours.
Yeah, I think it's one of the most replayable games I've ever played.
My concern is that I'm going to play it so much because I don't have any other choice. Because no, but in the sense that I can't move on to the next level. If I want to get my money's worth, I do have to kind of replay that level over and over. To the point where the levels that I would look back on old Hitman games that I do fondly remember, I don't know if I'll feel that about these ones, because even though they are good, I'd have played them so many times that I wonder if I start to think, but it did get a bit dull towards the end.
Maybe. I just think, in a way, I think they've done it like this because I wouldn't savour Paris as much as I am now if I knew there was something else to jump into. The fact that's all I've got, I keep going back and I keep finding new stuff.
Would you not go back to it once you've done another couple of levels?
Well, I never did it with the old Hitman game, so I'd like to tell you I would, but
See,
maybe
that's
I
what
wouldn't.
I did. I'd play through the whole game,
Yeah.
and then I'd go back into the missions that I really liked and try them out in different ways.
Yeah. I see where you're coming from. I'm definitely, playing more of one level in a video game because I don't have the option.
Yeah.
And because of that, I'm actually getting more out of it. And that's why I'm not completely adverse to the system they've introduced.
Yeah.
I think it's better than Absolution. I much prefer it to Absolution.
Its systems are the best they've ever been.
Yeah, yep, I totally agree. I think it's great. I think if you like Hitman and you played this, you would lose your mind.
A lot of people as well have been tweeting, of course, it's anecdotal and a bit echo chambery. But yeah, a lot of people I think have been surprised about how good it is. Yeah, the loading, the tech stuff, I said this in my review.
Even visually doesn't look that good.
Yeah, I was disappointed in the the debug string stuff. I only saw that. I only saw that in debug code. But at the same time, it's not unusual to see a finished game with like debug strings. But yeah, when in my review I noted that like challenges and Intel have they have when you click on them, they have images which give you a little peek of where in the world to go or what thing to use, and sometimes it takes ages for them to load. And as I said before, Hitman's a game of really fine margins, and this one, the margins are finer, incredibly, and you have to fucking wait a minute for the fucking cunt to load.
There you go.
It annoys me because they've done such a good job, and I know there's a lot of systems going on that level, and to put it in, but don't give fucking idiots the chance to go, where I think they really need to get it fixed. But with
Probably people like me, to be honest.
no, it's not you, Dave. It's people who are like, well, no, it takes this long to load it, so I'm out. That sort of thing.
Yeah.
You can understand it, but you need to be cognizant of the fact that it's going to put people off. But having said that, if you say you're maybe bored of those levels, Sapienza, the second one, is a lot more open, and so it's got like a big mansion on a bay, and so it's nowhere near it. Like it's similar, but not the same. And you find yourself actually by yourself a lot more. I always thought that in Paris, you're never by yourself.
Yeah.
Like to find yourself in an area where there's no one, you're in the
That's kind of something I like.
Yeah, that's good. But in Sapienza, there's loads more places where you can just go.
That's what it should be like. So it feels like a completely different game.
Yeah,
I
and then
think
in
that's the whole idea.
Marrakesh, if you've played Hitman 2, all of the Middle Eastern levels, which are set in like this one called Murder at the Bazaar, I think. And you have to go through all these souks and all these marketplaces, and you find sniping spots in top of like rug, shops and stuff. And then in Marrakesh, they've got all that again, and it's very, very dense. And then standing opposite it is this Swedish consulate. So you've got this gleaming place that you need to get into, and outside is all the intel that's going to all these challenges and disguise. So you're going to be able to mix the first two levels basically. So they seem smart.
Yep, it sounds like exactly what I wanted.
think Dave. I think what you said, Dave, is valid. I just think that after I pushed past it, I just loved it. I thought it was fucking brilliant.
I like it a lot. And I
Yeah.
don't mean to sound too negative.
No, I get
because
where you're coming from completely.
I don't know. There's just things about it that I don't play out quite how I expected them to. Perhaps, even though the systems. I agree. I think the systems are.
I'd love a co-op Hitman game. Just two
I don't-
players.
it depends.
Just
Can you
two
imagine how
players.
annoying the idiot that just starts running in with his flipping AK-47? You're like,
But-
oh, great.
So Splinter Cell Conviction had that, didn't it? It had that great co-op mode. I played that with loads of people, because you go into work when we were imagining, but like everyone was playing it at that time when it was out. It's like, oh man, you playing the co-op? No. And then the next day we're like, we need to play that co-op right now. So you have like 2 or 3 different people like, fuck me, it's really good. And that's the side thing. I'd love it with a bit more limited objectives and like firearm restrictions. And so you just have a pistol or whatever, and one of you's got to go off and do one thing, and they're great.
I think it's really good. It's like I say, so good that I don't even mind the content model. I think it works terrifically well. Just quickly before we answer some questions, I also played Enter the Gungeon, which I want to give a shout out to. Does anyone know what Enter the Gungeon is?
No.
It's like a roguelike.
I'm not even sure what a roguelike is.
I don't know, to be honest. A really hard video game that
It's
looks
like a bin raker.
Oh, what?
Sorry, carry on.
a bin raker.
Yeah.
Jimmy, you all
is
right,
that not
mate?
a word?
No, I don't know about
Did
it.
something
Never
happen to you while you were off?
No, well, yeah.
That was the problem.
It's basically like, so it's like randomly generated, all that kind of. I think it's randomly
yeah.
generated. But you're in a big dungeon, and basically it's a game that's got about 200 guns in it. And it's just like any other roguelike you've played, but it's incredibly addictive and it's incredibly good. So I just wanted to give it a shout out before we move in. So you're basically just running around. It's like a twin stick shooter. It's really hard. It's almost like a shmup, as people call them, where you're just getting inundated with bullets all the time. So
Bullet hell.
Yeah, you got to be on target with all that stuff. And it's just, I never ever thought I'd like those games, but I played it for about an hour, and I'm well up for some more of that. And the whole kind of twist is that you're always finding. It's a bit Dark Soulsy in a way. Dark Soul's not the right word. Maybe more The Division. I don't know. But you're basically always finding chests with a different gun in it. And those guns can fire bees. They can fire chickens. A bee. Bzz, like that thing.
Let's see. Make more money.
I had a gun that fired fish, which was good. And that froze them or something like that. I can't remember now. But it was just, if you like that kind of thing, I'd definitely go check out Enter the Gungeon. Just search for it.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Has anyone tried Paragon yet?
No. I've got a
publisher.
key for it. The Epic Games game, right?
Yeah, you say you've got a key for it, but you haven't anymore.
Does it not work?
The test is over.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad they gave me the opportunity to play that. Thank you very much.
Because I tried doing that last night.
Oh, really? Why is it ended already?
Miller's
Because
off
the game's
test.
out now.
But we didn't get a chance. Okay. Have you played it at all?
No, I'd like
Okay.
to. I just wondered if you
Right,
had.
well, we'll play that and we'll see. Is it like Battleborn? Is that one of Battleborn's
MOBA.
rivals? Yeah.
I don't know what MOBA it's more like.
Well, because they did that
Battleborn's
Battleborn.
not a MOBA, right?
Well, it is. We did that Battleborn video, and I was like, I'd rather play Paragon. I was like, all right, geez, I didn't. What's
I
the
imagine
comparison?
similar, yeah.
Okay, I'm interested.
Why are you covering this?
Well, exactly.
It's third person, though.
Well, that's Epic Games. I'll definitely check it out, even though the Dream Team aren't there anymore.
Yeah.
I'll still definitely have a look into it. Does anyone want to talk about anything else? Any other games they may have been playing? No? All right, we'll do some questions quickly. Obviously, videogamer.com, VideogamerTV, VideogamerCom on Facebook, Twitter. Go do it. And if you want more of this, patreon.com/videogamer. Right. Bren Doken 342211.
Pardon?
That guy at Brendwings. Do you think people have been harsh on Street Fighter 5 considering fighting games are just 1 versus 1s with a different coat of paint? So the fighting community just fell to their knees and are crying. I do think it's I don't really understand what's going on with Street Fighter 5 anymore, because apparently the servers are still broken. I mean, I tried to get on there and I couldn't, so I guess that's
really
indicative of something going on.
See, I didn't have a problem when I first tried it, and that was the week of launch.
Maybe I just tried something bad. But everyone now, I mean, the Twitter reaction to Street Fighter 5 makes me want to kill myself just so I'm not on this planet anymore. They treat servers not working like a national... Someone called it, I won't call them out, but on my Twitter feed, they got instantly unfollowed, they said, this is an international tragedy.
They didn't use those words.
They did. I'll show you the tweet.
International tragedy.
I'll show you the tweet. And I almost tweeted them back saying, give me your address, I'm coming round to murder you.
Was there any hint of irony?
No, none. They were genuinely upset because it was about their 30-second tweet that morning about the Street Fighter 5 servers.
I know the person you're talking about.
Do you? Are you sure? I don't think you would follow this person.
No, I know the guy.
Okay.
Whoa.
They're not in the games industry.
Are they not?
No.
Was it picking up?
Speaking of, anyway, we'll chat about this.
Tiny temper.
But I mean, it is bad because obviously you spend money on a video game, you expect it to work. But let's not. Do we have chat?
Paul Chuckle.
Have we chatted about the Chuckle Brothers Hitman video on this podcast?
I think so.
Everyone go watch the Chuckle Brothers Hitman video. It's basically the Chuckle Brothers playing Hitman. If you don't know who the Chuckle Brothers are, they're a British
UK
institution, I guess. But when
yeah.
I saw that, I was like, this is it. What are people doing? But then you watch it and you're like, oh, it's the greatest PR thing in the world.
One of the last British institutions that haven't been taken down by you three. So they're very, very precious at the moment.
Jim, this is probably the last episode of this podcast. So. Callum Harker at Cal Harker. Thoughts on the upcoming Fallout 4 DLC?
Did we answer the Street Fighter one? I don't even know.
There's no answer.
I don't know. It's all about robots, right?
Yeah, I would rather go in a different direction. Jim, you like
dull.
Fallout 4? You like the look of the upcoming Fallout 4 DLC?
The robot building one?
Yeah.
Nah, it's not interested me at all.
Okay.
I honestly couldn't give a toss.
All right. Burns, you don't like Fallout, do you?
I'd only play Fallout DLC if it allowed you to clean up. To play as future Arnold.
If they had
and
Viscera
Frank.
cleanup detail.
There's probably a mod on the PC you can get where there's
just-
some kind of cleanup thing.
Can you imagine? All they have to do is just mod like one bin man that just kind of wanders the wasteland picking shit up. That's it.
It'd be a much more refreshing game if you did, instead of searching for your shit kid, you were just a bin man on a mission to fucking make people's lives
you
better.
wake up 200 years in the future and you go, dear, oh dear. Right, better sort this out.
We should all make video games. Scott Brown at Rage in Scotland. I've done this question for a reason. Burns probably knows it as soon as I say it. What is the weirdest press kit items you've ever received? Also, what do you do with press kits? Just curious. Which one do you think I'm thinking of?
So is the one that offended your religious sensibilities. There was the dirt one.
You tell the dirt one, I'll tell the other one.
All right, so
There's not much story to tell, really.
Yeah,
But.
your one's better, so it's best that I go first. Yeah, dirt. The PR or someone representing the PR sent out a review build of the game in actual dirt, and then was surprised when it didn't fucking work. They've been in transit for hours with loads of dirt scratching across the back of
It's the worst idea. Well, we can put dirt in the envelope. Oh, yeah. Should we put the CD in a case? Nah, just chuck it in the envelope with the dirt. Yeah, with the dirt.
Oh, man.
I mean, that is just one of the stupidest things I think we've ever received.
insane.
Oh, I've got two actually. I've just remembered another one. So the worst one, Dave, you may have got it. I don't know. Maybe just before your time, when we were all at work and a big box turned up, and you opened it and it was a pig's heart.
I didn't know.
What was that for? Dynasty. No, it wasn't a
don't know.
Dynasty. It was for, yeah, it was a pig's heart.
Right.
And it was just like, a real, I'm not like a joke one, a real pig's heart that they'd gone to the butchers and bought. I think it was for a Dynasty Warriors game. I mean, it was
does that
definitely
have to
Tecmo
do with pig's
Koei.
hearts?
No idea. But imagine I opened it,
Yeah.
there it is, a raw pig's heart, just looking at me. And
You
I'm
must
like,
have been disgusted
I didn't
with
know
that.
what to do. I was just like, oh. There was a guy in our office that freaked out. Do you remember that, Burns? He went absolutely mental. He emailed them, said he was offended. Oh, yeah. It was bad. And I remember for one of the James Bond games, Activision sent out phones to everyone.
Did
with
they?
£10 credit on it. It must have cost them an absolute fortune.
What?
They weren't good phones. They were like really old mobile phones. This was like when smartphones had just become a thing.
Right.
And they basically sent out a load of Nokia 3210s to everybody. But it was to tie into, James Bond and stuff. But everybody, well, no, maybe not everybody, but what a few people in our office did. So we used to work on magazines. And at that time, in the back of magazines, you had the naughty numbers. Yeah. And someone said, we got all this credit now. Let's text one of the naughty numbers just to see what happens. So £10 of credit, right? One text drained that in about, I'd say, 60 seconds. That £10 was gone. And some of the things they got back, I'll never get over. I was shown one and I was like, never show that to me again. And that's when I started getting worried about these being in the back of magazines.
But what do phones have to do with James Bond? Like, what was the tie in there?
It was I think it was Casino. No, there wasn't. What James Bond games were there? It must have been Quantum of Solace.
He's always phoning people, isn't he?
But it was supposed to be like a spy, isn't it? It was like,
but I don't get it.
It was like a spy phone. That's supposed to be like a spy phone.
Kotaku reported on whoever was representing Sierra, maybe, I don't know, the Bourne Conspiracy game. They did exactly the same thing, except on the phone it had a text message which came through saying meet at this time. So you were meant to be like, it's a burner phone. And you get a message from your handler, and you'll go and meet, and the game's there, and get a hand job and everything that happened in in kind of mid to late 2000s video game journalism. But yeah, just it feels like by just sending the phone with no text or anything that comes through, they just sent you a phone.
It was weird. It's bizarre. Did you get any, Dave, in your time?
I can remember opening an envelope and there was a finger. I
remember that one.
Was it Jericho?
Yeah, it was. That was weird.
But I don't remember much else.
I'm trying to think now. There have been some awful ones.
The Sony ones were quite nice. They were more like sort of collector's items.
I don't remember that. I remember the Sony ones when the PS4 came out. They sent you a little weird plastic thing with your name on it.
Yeah, I've got one of those.
What the fuck is this about?
I think it's under my desk.
The original Uncharted one was quite nice. I think
yes, it was. It was like a
book.
Yes, it was a book. I remember that. Yeah, it looked cool.
Can't remember much else though. They stopped doing that sort of stuff.
I'm glad they have, to be honest. I mean, a lot of it I used to give all my stuff away, like on Twitter competitions, like who wants to. Well, not the pig's heart. I didn't do that, but
send it back to the butcher. Cook it out for your dinner.
Jimmy, have you ever received anything weird?
I think in my time, I think the worst thing we've had is that fucking body pillow that Alice developed.
We're not talking about that.
Yeah,
we're deliberately not doing it.
Have you seen the video for that?
The trailer?
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
But
have you seen the new one, today's one?
Oh, no, I haven't seen today.
It's something else. I showed Burns earlier.
All right.
We won't talk about it in any detail, but I think my favourite thing about that was the weird obsession that Alice developed with it.
Did you see you didn't see the email, did you?
No, I didn't see the email.
I showed the email.
But she was like...
email.
But
you were, you should have.
Alice was sort of like a cat that had found something for the whole day. It's quite funny, but there we go.
Dug up a turd.
This is a quick one just for me to rant, because I get this question a lot, and this is my fault because I brought them back, but I need to talk to people. Tom Porium at Inform Mr. Tom said, any more reviewsicals in the pipeline? I need me some reviewsicals, blah, 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 blah. Now, we brought reviewsicals back, and then nobody watched them. So the point is this: if you say you want something, but then nobody watches it, we're not going to do it, because it's called a time to worth it ratio.
Return on investment.
Exactly. And no, everyone said they wanted them, so we did it, and then they didn't do that well. So no, they're not. Reviewsicals are dead. Next, Ross McMahon at McMahon Man. Is the Vita the biggest disappointment in terms of console exclusives ever?
What? What does that mean?
Is it performance so bad that we can call it the worst console ever made?
Is that what they're saying, or has it had the worst?
Oh no, sorry, console exclusive in terms of games.
Does that mean
It's got a point, to be fair. Name me one exclusive PS Vita game that was good.
Uncharted Golden Abyss.
That was not good, but
Assassin's Creed Liberation.
Stroke the back of the console to climb up vines.
Yeah.
Assassin's Creed Liberation. That was good.
That was not good.
That was well good.
Come on.
There's a lot of those visual novel type things that people love. Danganronpa. And what was the other one?
Danganronpa 2.
Yeah.
I wouldn't call these great successes though.
No, but they're different.
No, they're not,
very different games apparently.
But I wouldn't call taking a console game and put it on the Vita a super exclusive, and I wouldn't call games like that. I'm sure people like them, but I'm talking about 3DS. You could name proper one-off games that people go bazongas for. I can't think of one for the PS Vita. He does have a point.
Then the GX 4000 exists, and that exactly, or the 3DO.
I think it's an argument. I think you could argue that the Vita did not have that many good exclusive games.
I think it fell apart when Sony... Go on.
Sorry. Are they going to bring out Golden Abyss on some other... Are they going to stick it on PSN?
I doubt it.
No, it wasn't that good.
Too long.
How long was it?
Can't stroke the back of it. It's about 4 or 5 hours.
Stroking the back of your telly, why can't I climb this?
It wasn't like the length of a proper Uncharted game, or was it?
It just looked really good for a handheld game.
It did look very good, yeah. I mean, I didn't mind it. I just don't think that was a... We don't look back now, I don't think, and go, wow. PSV.
That Wipeout game that was on, that was good.
But again, that's not the biggest ringing endorsement in the world. That Wipeout game that came out for it is really good.
Motorstorm RC was good.
Motorstorm RC was good. That's a fair one. But again, it wasn't like a huge super
You can
thing.
get Vita games cheap now, though, can't you? Right?
I can't believe anyone is going to answer. There's surely only one answer to this question. TQ at T Quillfeld said,
Westside, what?
My wife got me the Taken King and Super Mario Galaxy 2 for my birthday. What do I play first? Surely no one is saying play Destiny the Taken King before Super Mario Galaxy 2. I'm going Super Mario Galaxy 2.
I've never played either of the Mario Galaxy games.
Guess which one they should play. Unbelievable.
On the fucking Wii.
It's amazing Super Mario Galaxy 2.
Don't give it
Super Mario Galaxy, like probably one of the greatest fucking games ever made.
Yeah.
Jim's terrifying stare he's got going on at you.
Look, but that's
or old
that's
D.
Come on now.
How long have you been doing this for a fucking living?
Yeah.
Like, it's just like being a film critic and having like just not knowing who fucking Orson Welles is.
Jim, you were so good until you... That's not the right comparison.
Jim,
he knows what
it.
Super Mario Galaxy is.
Exactly. And also...
I'm saying it's that bad.
I'm not going to play it on that console. I'm not going to play it. There you go. It's that simple.
All right.
You know, you'd be like, oh, wow, this is one of the best games. Yeah, but you have to fucking swim through a river of shit to get to it.
Oh, wow. Fucking
Dave,
wow.
you've got the deciding vote.
I don't want to watch Citizen King because it's in black and white.
No, it'd be like, I don't want to watch Citizen Kane because I don't want to have to set up a reel-to-reel projector to watch the cunt. Shut up and move on.
I was going to say, when they re-released them on Wii U, I'm disappointed they didn't let you just play them straight on the gamepad.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would say play Mario Galaxy.
Right, there we go. The answer is Mario Galaxy.
I'd say Taken King.
And to finish off, it kind of ties into what we were just talking about, kind of. Matthew Hudson at, I can't pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Do you often encounter people in the professional gamer world who are useless at games? Now, I hate this.
Yeah,
I hate this. I hate this so much. And if it made it sound like I'm coming at you, Matthew, that's a shame. You do not have to be good at video games to be whatever the hell a video game journalist is meant to be. What that is like saying you can't. It's like there's moronic fucking football people that become pundits and go, you can't be a pundit, you never played the game. Fuck off. Of course I can. I can watch football and come up with my own opinion of what I think is good and what I think is bad. It's ridiculous. You do not have to be good at games to be a YouTuber, to be a games journalist, to be a games developer.
But you'd think
to be good at games.
You'd think they naturally would be, though, considering the amount that they play them, right? You'd think they would.
No, I'm shit at games. I'm awful at video. Apart from Gears of War and Mario Kart 7. That's
Really?
it. They're my two games.
I bet you're not, though.
What, other games?
I bet you're not as bad as you think you are.
Maybe not, but you don't have to be... We get some messages, especially on YouTube. Oh my gosh, if we ever grab our own footage, I can't take this seriously because you are not very good at this game. It's like, what fucking difference does it make? You crazy YouTube
It is a lot
commenter.
harder when you're doing it for a video as well.
Of course it is, but I don't. There's no correlation whatsoever. You don't imagine everyone had to be super good at video games to talk about them. What a stupid world we live in.
I think that a lot of the and I don't want to be sound elitist or anything like that. But
I didn't pay for the division.
You started off the podcast that way, so you may as well finish it like it.
No, there is a chunk of, and I think the vast majority of people are totally fine and they get it, right?
No, I disagree.
There is a vocal chunk of the audience who come out with this nonsense that, in order to do the job we do, like, how can you do the job we do without being great at everything? They just don't seem to appreciate that. Because our job involves doing lots of stuff, like playing a game, not only playing a game, we have to make stuff, we have to cover it, we have to do something once we've played it. And they're coming from a standpoint where, because they probably don't have much going on, they can buy a game. No, well, these
started off quite reasonable, and now it's actually a massive diss.
If you are the sort of person that gets fucked off about these sorts of things, you definitely don't have much going on in your life.
That's probably true.
Yeah.
And so they obviously buy a game, they play the shit out of it, they probably get really good at it. Like, they leather fucking 12 hours a day into it and for 6 weeks, and then they look at people like us and go, why can't you do that? And it's like, because I've got things to do.
Yeah, but the point being, even if we did plow 12 hours into a game, we were still shit at it, that still is not entry
not
or
at all.
no
Not
entry
at all.
level into becoming I hate the term
Not
video
at all.
game journalist.
The point-
I hate it. It's just not a
But
thing.
honestly, I'm not good at games at all. Like the only games I'm any good at are stuff that has no kind of multiplayer component whatsoever, so it doesn't matter. There's no showboating or whatever, or stuff like the stuff I really
Sim.
play is stuff.
But being a good critic isn't about being good at necessarily at the thing. Like otherwise, Alan Shearer would be the greatest commentator of all time. And it comes down like
He is Stephen.
no, he's fucking shit. He just says the man does the thing, and the reason is because, and he does say that, and the reason is because most of his is instinctual, and being like criticizing something is actually taking it apart and putting it back together again. Without wanting to sound too much of a cunt about it, like actually thinking about how it all works together. So you don't necessarily have to be the greatest. If you are good at the game, that may give your critical insight a bit of a boost because you can see how it is played at different levels as opposed to just at face value. But at the same time, this is exactly the fucking thing that happened when talking about film criticism with a really famous film critic kept on leathering into Warren Beatty movies. So he turned around to her and went, okay, here's a film production contract. Go and make a film
Damn
for
right.
yourself.
Yeah, see what you
and
mean.
she said, I'm going to do it. And she couldn't. And he went, well, you fucked yourself. If you just said no, you'd have known that your role is not to make the movie, but to commentate on it. And now you've tried to do both.
I'm saying that right now. Any moron that listens to this podcast and think you shouldn't be allowed to cover games unless you're good at them, here's my offer to you. Come to Croydon. You can do my job for a week. Let's see if you can do it. You're really good at games. Let's see if you can do the job. Let's see what happens. That's a real...
guarantee that any of these fuckers, if they did Miller's job or my job for a week, they would be fucking dead.
No, right, that's it. It's a real... At Simon Miller 316. It's a genuine offer. Tweet me and you can come and do my job for a week. I'll take a week off.
Dead of fucking exhaustion after 3 days.
Go do it.
Not if you're also a professional video production editor.
No, that doesn't count. No, you just have to be someone who thinks that you have to be really, really good. That's it. That's your only skill. You're really good at games.
Yeah, if you're really good.
No, you can't come if you're well good at Dark Souls, but then you fucking make videos for the BBC. Yeah. That doesn't count.
If you're well good at Sunset Overdrive,
that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the people that literally are, I don't know, they work in a bank and they're well good at Dark Souls and they think, well, I can be a professional video game journalist. There you go. There's the offers there. That's Simon Miller 316.
None of these people are trusted with money. What are you talking about?
Someone's going to turn up, I tell you, and they're going to be amazing.
Fine. I'd love to, but the point being is
and then we'll kill them and
they'll be here, exactly. We can bury them in the floorboards. No, my point being is that I don't believe anyone that would actually turn up is of the ilk of person I'm talking about. I know that if that person does turn up, they'll have like a bib on. So, right, we're done insulting the audience now. So,
I bet somebody will turn up and they're like, oh, so what's your day job? I'm a fucking joiner's apprentice. So, what makes you think hammering nails into things makes you a good critic? Well, good at Dark Souls. You can imagine.
But also hammering nails into stuff, they probably would be pretty good at it, to be honest.
Anyway, Burns, where can people get you if they want to yell at you about stuff you've done?
Yeah, I'll be around Croydon, like an NPC.
I meant on the internet, but you can do that.
Between the hours of 5 or 9:15 in the morning to about 6:30 at night, I'll just be basically people go, oh, we're a Hitman, they do the same things. I'm in Sainsbury's every day. Every single
Someone's watching you making notes. Take him out here.
Did see a bus crash today, but if you want to know more about that, hit me at the Steve Bernio. I was going to say at VG_Dave.
Well, do you know what?
How weird would that be? Tell me about the bus crash.
If you want to know more about today's bus crash, you can give us $5 and
hear about it on Patreon.
Hear about it later.
Well, Dave, we can get you at VG_Dave.
Steve Bernio, yeah.
At the Steve Bernio. Jim, do you want to pimp out your Tam McLeish Twitter account?
Yeah, I don't use Twitter as myself anymore.
Fuck's sake.
Because that started upsetting me, but then I rediscovered my love of using it as fictional police detective Tam McLeish.
So there you go.
Do you know
you
why?
can only ask fictional questions to
Tam
Jim.
McLeish. Do you know? It's all tweeting in universe now, right? Do you know why I love it? It's because when people come the cunt
in universe.
when people
He's
come
that guy. He's right there.
When people come the cunt at me when it was just Jim Trinker on Twitter. You'd have to be diplomatic.
No, you wouldn't. I always told you didn't have to do that. You should have just told him to suck your balls.
But I had to be.
No, you didn't.
I had to be because I'm not Simon Miller. but when people come the cunt to Tam McLeish, you just tell him to go fuck them. He's like, he tells them to fuck off. He insults their mums, and it's all fine.
He does this, not Jim Trinker.
Tam McLeish does it. This weird person that lives inside Jim.
But I'm just like, I'm not Terry Bollea.
10-inch penis. On that note, if you would like more of this madness,
10-inch penis, did you say?
we'll talk about it on the
story.
Patreon podcast. $5.
What's happened?
Videogamer, patreon.com/videogamer. You can get more of this insanity.
Yeah.
But thank you very much for joining us. If you were offended by anything you heard in the Video Game Podcast, fuck you. My name was Simon Miller. And I was joined by Stephen Burns, David Scammell,
I'm out.
and Tam McLeish, also known as Jim Trinker. Hello, Video Game Community Club members, and welcome to what will hopefully be a more calm version of the Video Gamer extended part of the podcast. Burns, do you want to tell? Oh, we got Tom here. Dave's dead. Tom's risen in his grave. How are you, Tom?
I'm all right.
Excited about the Bloodstorm stream on the Bloodstorm. No, what's it called?
Bloodstorm.
Bonestorm, yeah. What's it called? Bloodborne.
Yeah.
Stream on Thursday. Excited about that?
Yeah, I got so excited I made a trailer.
He did. Tom made his first ever video today. What a world we live in. Are you happy with it?
I've just made an amazing video as well.
Does it still need to be tweaked? Are you happy with it now? You
need to fix it.
Oh, right. I was hoping you were going to say it.
But no, I've been making experimental videos where you've been recording.
That sounds weird, doesn't it? What other ones?
Like
Devo.
For what?
A new idea.
For the YouTube or just for yourself?
No, obviously YouTube.
What's the premise?
Football.
Oh, it's your Football Manager
No,
stuff.
it's not that.
Is this content we can actually use without getting sued?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll
think.
talk about it. Oh. It's changed straight away.
I've made a
go on
proof of concept video.
Is it a series? Or is
It could be.
Does it have you in it?
No.
See if we
You
watch
said that
it,
like that would
if
be the
we
most
watch it,
ludicrous question.
and it's just like 10 minutes of Broadchurch, but with something overlaid on it. I don't think that'll fly.
That isn't too far from the truth.
All right, we'll look after this. Burns, do you want to tell your bus crash story?
Well, I'll tell the intro.
It's not a great story. It's
and
shit.
then Jim will
Is
tell.
this what
Shut
happened
up, Jim.
earlier today?
I don't know.
Jim
I was
will-
just told that there was a bus crash mentioned, then we got told it was coming out here, so that's all I know.
So Jim and I at lunch decided that we need
Crash a bus.
but that we needed to go to Sainsbury's to pick up
Yeah.
a Red Bull
That happens.
for me
Yeah.
because they don't sell Red Bull in Subway. So that's
Right.
my primary. It's like a Hitman
So
level.
you bought a Subway, but then you needed to get
No, we did it the other way around
Right, okay.
so we wouldn't get cold.
Sainsbury's Subway, right? Yeah.
Okay, right.
This is good.
Think about it. So anyway, we're walking along, and Jim's chatting a load of old shit, just completely phased out. Like I'm looking at the ground, and suddenly he goes, "Oh!" And then you hear this crash, and a big old bus had gone wrong.
I didn't do that.
Yes, you did. Everyone around me did it, but I didn't. What
did the-
Kilgore?
What did the bus crash into?
Another bus.
Shit.
Yeah, baby.
Coming around the corner, the one bus kind of like scraped the back end of another bus.
Not as dramatic as it sounds.
No, it
And
rips the thing off the back.
it was an almighty fucking crack. Loads of people gasped. I didn't fucking gasp. I just kind of went, whoa,
Yeah.
and looked.
I didn't gasp.
Right?
I just gasped. That's what you
Fucking,
just said,
don't fucking
Jim.
tell people I gasped when I didn't, right?
You gasped out.
And then
What damage was there?
It, the bit at the back where the engine is, where they pull that off to do engine
So it was
stuff.
front of bus and the back of bus?
The side.
Side, right.
So it'd come around too
Side
fast.
of a bus
You know what
went
they
into
were
the back
doing,
of a
right? When
bus.
bus drivers go past each other, they feel that they need to do like a little wave.
Is
don't
that
they?
actually what they did? And they fucked
No,
it?
wait, well,
No.
I'm not saying they did that. All what I'm saying is this probably definitely happened. And they went past, and it's a very...
Tom, you don't know what was said in the last podcast. It's the end for the Video Game Podcast. So much libel.
they were waving at each other, and then
Yeah.
they fucked the turn.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
went... One of them didn't take the turn
But the thing that was
well enough.
The thing that was great though, one bus is just now the back of it is totally fucked, and he's like stopping. He's like, right, everyone off, blah 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 blah. The other bus just keeps fucking going.
It was great.
We didn't
was
even bother to stop.
One bus,
shit.
one TFL bus, hit and run, another TFL bus. It was
The
great.
Croydon Gazette will love that story.
Yeah.
Did the
I
Gazette?
feel sorry for the passengers.
Yeah, if you'd have
'Cause
been on
that's
that
a pain,
window
isn't it?
side, that could have...
And
No,
also-
no, if that happened, they
You
got
have to-
injured. They're in for some.
And you have to get
some
off
good
as well
money.
and wait for another bus or
No,
whatever.
you get money if they injure you in a bus crash.
And it was about this
Oh, yeah.
point.
Big
It was
money.
about this point that Burns totally shot down the idea of going to Greg's for lunch. So
Yeah. Well,
real tragedy
speaking
of
of
lunchtime.
public fucking transport and windows getting broken, I was on a train from St Neots to London once when I was about 13 or 14. Just, They're going down there with my parents into that London.
Yeah, I get it.
I'm sitting there, like, and then they have those little huts by the side of the where people do train track shit go if it starts raining and whatever.
Yeah.
Suddenly, some fucking oik stepped out of it with literally a catapult. I just saw him and was like, it's like super slow motion. I was like, oh. And fired a stone right at the window and just shattered it. It didn't break. The glass just went. I was just like, if you want to kill me, like, it's so easy because I'll just stand there and be like, what's he got?
Well, it's a bit weird if someone comes at you with a catapult.
It's so bizarre. I was like, and then the guard came and was like, yeah, you should probably move from there. Like, yeah. What if it had broken? I've been sucked out.
Yeah, you just reminded me of a story I'd forgotten about. Though you've literally triggered a memory from my youth. I used to have to take the train home from must have been high school, year 11. How old are you in year 11?
15.
15, yeah.
15,
so I got this ridiculous job where you could clean your school after hours and they paid you 20 quid an hour. So
Yeah.
I'm obviously
20 quid an hour?
Well, you only work for 2 hours because it didn't take that long
I used to
clean
do
the
that
school.
job. It was fucking brilliant.
But they paid you loads of money to make. You still got more than a
Yeah.
stupid job. So I thought, obviously, I'll do this. So I used to get the train home because my mum used to come and get my brother and sister. So she said, you have to get the train home. So I did. I used to look for carriages with nobody in it because I fucking stunk anyway, cleaning a school. I was going to be left alone. And some guy came and sat in the carriage with me. He was just chatting to me nicely, like, how you doing? Who are you? Not that you know who you are, you're just more casual than that. And then from nowhere went, do you have any porn? We should have a wank. Now, this is a genuine story. I just got up. I've never run to a different carriage as quickly in my life. And he never followed me. I just told the guard, I said, yeah, look, there's some freak in there. You need to go sort out. Never saw him again. But that really did bother me at the time.
He just wanted the carriage to himself, mate.
I never wanted to take the train again. I think I did. I think I stopped. I was just like, shit the bed. Fucking
Trains
the
are
weirdos
bad,
out there.
Like,
Well.
especially on buses as well. You get on the bus and there's you can smell the weed and you're like, look,
Yeah.
don't be a dick, pass that round. But they never do. They never do.
That's such a stand-up comedian joke. Just like lure them in one way and then just come out the other side.
Not even like I mean, like a 1997 stand-up joke. Though, do you know what I mean?
Says the man with a fake copper Twitter account. Fuck me.
He's got you there, Jim.
It was a bit like the stand-up comedian you like, though, wasn't
Yeah,
it? It was a
but-
bit badminton, that one.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I enjoyed the swerve, to be honest. So, Tom, is there anything you would like to talk about? You're brand new here.
Specifically about trains? Or?
Trains, or you can talk about anything you want, games you've been playing, or I can't even think what else we talk about. Tottenham, you can talk about Tottenham, they're doing well in the Premier League.
Tottenham are doing well.
You don't
also,
seem confident. You
Yeah,
should
but
be
it's not
confident
well
that, like,
enough, is it? That's the problem.
It's better than your entire
Yeah,
history
but
of the
this
football
is-
club. Like
This is but this is like the season. I don't think like next year.
well, Man City will win.
Clearly,
next year.
there's going to be like all the teams doing shit are going to do better,
Yeah.
and we're going to be like fourth or fifth again.
Do you think you'll lose Pochettino, the Tottenham
No.
manager, if you don't know?
No,
you
I
don't,
don't
you're
think
confident
so.
about that. Okay.
I mean, we might do well next year. It's a very young team, so there is promise.
Do you think you'll win the league this year? Make your prediction now.
If we're within like if it's like
If
three,
we have
if it's
more
3
points at the
games
end
to
of the
go,
season, then
there's
yeah.
3 games to go,
Yeah.
and we're like within.
Got to be within 2, I
If
reckon.
it's 3 points, I think we could still do it with
Right.
3 games to go because we should be ahead on goal difference still, so it's still doable. But we'll see how it goes. We've got some hard games coming up.
Is this a hint at the potential Tom Orry football manager video content? Is this the kind of stuff it's going to be? Like,
Well, me talking about Tottenham?
Yeah.
No, probably
No,
not.
okay, right.
It's because when you play Football Manager, you get confused about what is reality and what is Football Manager. So I remember when I won the Champions League of Spurs years ago,
do you think it's real?
and it's like I was playing that so much that it's hard to remember that Spurs in real life weren't that good.
Oh, that's why you should be happy now. That's what I mean. Though. Even if you finish second, what a great
I
season
am
it's been for
happy
you.
the way it's gone this season, but
Yeah.
I just think it's slight opportunity blown.
I
don't
think
see it like
it's
that.
going to come down to Leicester have been incredibly lucky with their injuries. Yes, Vardy was out for a little while. My voice makes you sound like a really wank Henry Winter at the moment. But if you...
Yes, there's a character in that.
Yeah.
It's Wank Henry Winter.
Not off. But yeah, if they lose Mahrez, for example, if Mahrez gets munched next game, they will not win that league.
If they lose one game, like in the next couple of games, if they lose...
They've
that
got to
could
see
be a
how the
big-
next 3 games
that
will
could be a
wins,
big
and
thing.
then I think that's
The
the only
thing
way
is-
they'll win it.
Because
Everyone said this before they played Liverpool, Arsenal, Man United, and they came out with 9 points.
No,
Oh, they
I'm
lost
not-
to
that's the
Arsenal.
If they lose one now, that momentum stops,
Yeah.
and then they start to think, okay, it's 2 points, and then they know while you're at 5, because all you got to do is win 1-0 each game. You know, and
they won yesterday. They had one shot on target.
Doesn't matter.
Overhead kick though, wasn't it? So worth 3 goals.
But that's how teams win leagues.
I'm not saying they don't deserve to win. They were the one that scored the goal, but at the moment they seem to be able to win even when they're just not particularly brilliant. Like they did well, but they literally had one shot on target. That was it.
Do you know the best thing about this? Imagine you hate football and you paid for this section.
Well, now we're going to talk about Football Manager.
That's fine. That's video games. Yeah. What else can you possibly say about Football Manager though? Like,
at the moment, I'm experimenting with like ridiculous deals.
That sounds like a QVC game or something. What do you mean?
Like how complicated I can make a deal to try and get a player that I can't afford. It's not working.
I don't know. What do you mean?
Like, The Art of the Deal by Donald Trump on the desk.
So, for example, there's this like 18-year-old who I think he plays for possibly AC Milan, I think.
Right. And you're offering like 9 players or something.
No.
It's not a mass store, is it?
It's a part of that. But my transfer budget is £300,000. Yeah. They value him at about 25 million.
Right, you're screwed.
So what I'm doing is like after 14 appearances, you can have a couple of million. After like 30 appearances, more million. International appearance, more millions. Have these few players. If you get promoted,
you're going to bankrupt yourself, Tom.
No, but I'm going to see if I can convince the board that that's a good thing that I'm allowed to do.
I don't think it's going to work.
It's not working so far.
It sounds. Even I think that's mad. I know nothing about being on the board.
Yeah, I mean they're never going to accept it. I'll move on eventually.
Okay. How are you doing in the league? Where are you?
About 8th as Derby.
In the Premier League? Oh no.
Championship.
Shit. Well, how are you at Tottenham? Did you get fired from Tottenham?
I got fired quite early on.
Fucked it.
That was months ago.
Oh, well, I don't know. I don't keep up to date with your football. Anything else you want to talk about?
I've been playing a game called Salt and Sanctuary.
Yes, I saw someone this morning said, Happy Salt and Sanctuary Day, everyone. And instantly I thought of Tom, we're playing it Thursday, correct?
I think so,
Before the Bloodborne stream.
Yeah.
Apparently it's very soulsy, right?
Apparently it's harder than... Apparently it's like ridiculous.
It's hard to know if it is harder or if it's just... Because I don't really play... It's not like I dislike Dark Souls.
Nah, he hates it.
I just don't play them enough to know if this is harder or not. It is hard. It's very hard.
It's like 8-bit and stuff, right? Like 8-bit, but 2D.
So it's 2D. Yeah. The people that did it did Dishwasher, Samurai, and another game I can't remember the title of on the Xbox 360. It looks similar to those. It's got a similar art style. It feels very much like Dark Souls. You've got all enemies can kill you if you're just be a bit lazy, like the zombie thing will just kill you quite quickly. But I found that certain enemies quite early on, so there's this big troll thing, and that I just can't kill it. I can't kill this troll. I've killed some of the bosses. I can't kill this troll, and it's just like a standard enemy. It's different to Dark Souls in that you've only got like the 2D space to move around, so you can't sort of roll around enemies and things. You've got.
Is it like side scrolling?
Yeah,
right.
It's a side scrolling. It feels you've got the same level, like sense of discovering things because you go down. Unlock shortcuts and all that kind of stuff that you do in Dark Souls. You've got leveling up stuff. You've got like weapons that you buy weapons. You can use loads of things to give you like bonus abilities and things. As far as I can see, it is a good like copy of Dark Souls but 2D. And if you like that kind of thing, I'm sure you're going to like it.
How many pounds is it? 14?
I think it's like 14. I think it's got maybe a launch discount.
And it's out today
on
Patreon Podcast Day, which is Tuesday, in case you're not listening to this on day one. Well, there you go. I'll play it. I think I'm going to hate it.
I think you will hate it.
It doesn't sound good at all. Well, it's like Dark Souls. I don't like Dark Souls. I made a joke the other day that I didn't actually think Bloodborne was a bad game. And I said, I understand that.
You're working the boys again.
I was, yeah. It was a joke. That was the joke. This sums up Bloodborne fans to me, or Dark Souls fans. I said, no, obviously Bloodborne is a good game. I'm just not good at it. They jumped on it. See? I was like, look, you just come into my trap like the spider. That's what you've done. Idiots.
Thought you were going to go for a full Jake Roberts promo there.
Could have done, yeah. But I don't like it. I don't understand. Now the Bloodborne people have been unleashed on me. I can't understand why, rather than spend their time yelling at people that don't like their beloved game, they don't go and play their game. That's all they do is moan at other people for not playing it. Go play it.
That live stream we're doing, even though you have repeatedly said you don't like it, and it's a terrible game.
It is a terrible game.
And basically the whole 2 hours each time is you moaning about it.
Whining like
people
a bitch.
have bought that game because of our stream.
I get a lot of tweets saying I bought it. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
So as much as those people moan about what you say, you've encouraged other people to buy the game they love.
Mate.
This is when this is when they find out that it's all a ruse and Sony paid us for all of this.
Oh,
Some people believe that now as well. Now I've said it.
Someone asked me how much I got paid for my positive Hitman coverage.
How much was it? 10 grand?
No, it was more. But they were like, Steve, so used to Steve not liking games. And it's like, yeah, but if you actually listen to anything I say about Hitman, it's the systems, you dick. I don't just go, I just don't like this game, unless it's Halo.
If they look at anything that historically you've been an advocate for, Hitman is
You've
not...
been paid for it.
Like,
Hashtag ad.
but, Hitman is not out of place in any of those things.
You've been a fan for years. And I've said it before. Look, I'm desperate for someone to offer me some money so I can talk nice about a game, but the offers aren't coming.
Oh, you talk.
I'm just waiting to be corrupt, but I can't. No one's offering me. I can't be corrupt without the offers.
It's a very tricky business being corrupt.
I know.
I've bribed a few people, and trust me, there's a lot of blowback on that. You think that it's like, I want more money, or the police are talking, and you just think, you know what, it would have been easier not to bribe someone.
Honestly, if you're a publisher listening to this, 10 grand, I'll say whatever you want about your video game. I'm ready.
Dead. NeoGAF tomorrow. Spectrograph. It was him. I know it was him.
I did that Division thing yesterday just because I played the Division. I liked it. And I thought, well, that's something we can do because there's a lot going on yesterday anyway. And that straight away, the first comment, who paid you to do this? Well, A, the answer would obviously be Ubisoft. You don't need to ask that question. But second of all, no, but we're not allowed to have an opinion on the internet anymore. It's ridiculous. If Ubisoft, genuinely, if they actually rang me up and said, Miller, will you say nice thing? But I'd say, of course not. Like, what world do you think that I live in? It's not worth it. Like, we do sponsor content like, we want to do a competition. Yeah, fine. That's like paying for an advert, really. What difference does it make? But no one in this room especially is actually going to go, yeah, I'll do that. Because it's just a stupid idea.
Yeah, it's shy, isn't it?
Anyway, on that corrupt note, we'll bring this to an end.
Also,
Jim will have the
no,
final
I
word.
was just
No, you go. No, sum it all up.
Sorry. No, I was just going to say...
It's going to be something about Willies.
Well, people... No, I was just going to say, people have seen our videos and people know what our acting's like, and if you think we can convincingly feign enthusiasm for a game...
we've never been paid a lot of money to do that before.
Yeah, exactly.
If you want to go and see a bunch of people not understanding our character stuff, go watch the Creative Assembly unboxing they did with Miller. There's about 400 people on there who think he is real and go, well, what an obnoxious loser that guy was.
I've not seen the comments.
I
saw it.
So many comments of people.
But I didn't scroll down because I thought this one is played too straight. People won't say anything because it's clearly obvious that. So I was like, what? When it's borderline, I'm in there. Maybe sowing a bit of dissent. I'm going to get on there.
One guy said something along the lines of, Sega, next time you're going to get YouTubers to participate, get people that actually want to be there.
I cannot wait. Right, I'm on it. All
right. Well, as always, thank you for being patrons. I assume everyone, if you what do you call it, sent in an email to be on the community club night, you've got an email now.
Oh.
It's 15th of April? I can't remember now. I think so. Here, you've got the address in your email, 7 till 9. There's not that many of you, just because we don't want to overload the office. So if you didn't get an email back, we'll do another one soon and it comes up. It's about 25 people. That's it. Otherwise, it's going to be overrun and crazy, and it's a bad idea.
It's an extra 40 quid to play all the pre-release games as well.
Yeah,
so bring your money.
It burns his pocket, and he'll be in the games room just waiting.
You're not playing any debug builds until those dollars get handed over, mate.
Yeah, 7 till 9 p.m. on that Friday, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's all you need to know. Thanks very much.